morning. The time is 9:01 a.m. It is Monday, May 10th, 2021. I'm going to call this regular term meeting of the Bee County Commissioners Court to order. We are located at the Bee County Courthouse, Commissioners Courtroom, number 110, 105 West Corpus Christi Street, Beeville, Texas, 78102. That was the call to order. Would everybody please join me in standing up, and Commissioner Farias is going to give us a prayer.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for all the blessings you provide for us, for the general rain that you brought to Bee County, and for more that's coming. We ask you to please watch over this court and all the paperwork that we do, open our minds and our hearts so we may do our best job for everybody we represent. We ask you to please watch over everybody that's been affected by COVID and continue all the progress we're making. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Farias. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Excellent. 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 Good morning. We do have some visitors in the audience today. Hello. Thank you all for being here. We look forward to hearing from one or more of y'all this morning, but thank you for your presence. And if you're online this morning, thank you for joining us. And if you're not here, please consider joining us next time. Moving on, agenda number 5, Commissioners Court opening remarks. Oh, Commissioner Lenny, you get to go first.
All right. Not a whole lot. Actually, it's pretty quiet. Talked with Ray. I had a lady call about some needing some caliche and drive there up the Beeville Road, so we're gonna get that taken care of. Lady called me the other day about needing to possibly get a culvert put in, and told them if they buy it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ray. If they buy the culvert and everything, county will put it in for them.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The best thing to do, Commissioner, is just give her our number, office number, and we can fill them in, sign the cover, and the procedure to take.
Perfect. Other than that, it's been pretty quiet. I am looking to do another cleanup here pretty soon. I need to ride some roads and see which ones are worse than others and get that together so we can continue with that effort of cleaning up. But that's about it. Pretty quiet.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner DeWitt.
Yes, if the court would give me some latitude this morning,
Of course we will.
I have,
Take your time.
I have a vignette, and we're gonna take a mind trip this morning.
Perfect.
So, Commissioners, Judge, in my tenure, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't get it wrong, so. In my tenure with Texas Parks and Wildlife, there were a few times I would address a group with a statement signifying a situation or incident that was so profound or astonishing it needed to be preceded with the following retort in order to garner attention, support, and action. Commissioners and Judge, have I got a deal for you? After Sunday's Mother's Day lunch, Gwen and I traveled around Precinct 2 reviewing recently completed projects that Road and Bridge is so faithfully done. While in North Mountain, we drove across Meadow Creek and discussed the historic 1897 Metal Truss Bridge and its uncertain future. A little history of the bridge before I go any further. That area was used in the Texas Revolution. It was the main travel route from Goliad to San Antonio. Indians used it for thousands of years, that same area. The bridge that's there now was built in 1897 by the New Jersey Iron and Steel Company. The bridge has served as one of the major crossings on the road from Beeville to San Antonio. That was the main road from Beeville to San Antonio, from everything south, was through there. It wasn't, 181 didn't exist at that time. Funding for the bridge was acquired from the sale of bonds from Bee County's permanent school fund. Construction costs totaled $3,990. The steel Pratt through truss bridge with a wooden deck and approaches rest on riveted steel caissons or piers. It has survived numerous floods. The top of the bridge was restored in 1923, and a new floor was constructed in 1947. The bridge remained in service for vehicular traffic until 1987, and it is a recorded Texas historical landmark. The information and ideas to be presented may bring worldwide notoriety, tourism, accolades, envy, and heads and beds in Bee County. Now bear with me and follow me on a short, magical journey. In your mind's eye, get your mind's eye turned on. Travel would meet in Normanna on Highway 181, turn west, turn left on Main Street, travel approximately 2 miles and stop near the 1897 Meadow Creek Bridge. Road and Bridge personnel began a cleanup project a couple of years ago on this metal truss bridge. Extensive grapevines were removed, overgrown trees and soil reshaping was accomplished. At one time, according to my first cousin, the Meadow Creek flowed water year-round, was much wider. He further recalls standing in the creek and fishing in the running creek in 4 foot of water, catching fish. For decades, there have been reports of strange happenings in the Normanna area. Nighttime screams, missing small livestock, and expanded interest in the area in 1924, 1925. Native Indian lore indicates Bigfoot and family may reside in the local area. Native Americans refer to Bigfoot as guardians of the forest. Remember that term. The deal is to finish cleaning up the metal truss bridge, replace rotten or missing deck boards, and erect metal life-size cutouts of a Bigfoot family crossing the bridge with appropriate signage such as caution, Bigfoot crossing area, much like the Marfa Lights phenomenon near Marfa, Texas. If any of y'all have ever been in West Texas, you've missed out if you haven't gone and seen the Marfa Lights. There would be a parking area, an area for photographs of Bigfoot, possibly an elevated observation deck and souvenirs. The possibilities are only limited by an imagination. It is understood this is not an action item at this time. It is presented to create awareness and gauge reactions. Think of a Bigfoot Halloween with lights and sound effects, or Bigfoot days in Normanna. Thank you, and may the spirit of Bigfoot be with you as a guardian of the forest. And I'll pass to my colleague to the left.
Thank you, Commissioner, that was fun.
You want me to follow that?
Commissioner Farias, you got to follow
that. All right. My week was BDA, and we have some announcements, and I think y'all saw it in the paper. We have acquired NAFCO to come in, and they signed a 50-year lease. Thank you, Judge, for going out and helping with that.
You're welcome.
And that's going to be some big beginnings for Lee County. It's huge. Now, on the downside now, I've been talking with Brent about 4 times this week about the new jail and sheriff's office, and we have still some more air conditioning problems, and we've got a couple of card readers that are out, camera out. Some of it's warranty, some of it's not warranty, so I'm still working on all that right now. So there's a bunch going on over there. And elections administrator office air condition broke, and we'll see that later on today. It's completely out, so more good news. And for that, I'll pass to Commissioner Haggard.
That was a decided turn from.
I can't even follow either side of that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Had several. We all dropped our popcorn after I got through.
I have received several calls from people in the county, mainly on the Tynan water issues. I have to meet with the lady this week on some of the issues there and meet with the board itself. I'm working with Natalie Gonzalez with Grant Works on that one. Also met with Tynan Water Board. They're having some issues there. I have her looking for grant money for her. Also met with an individual, and I'm going to get with the Sheriff's Department. We have some problems there on Gilstrap Lane, not with the roads or anything. It's with residents there. Be meeting with them. Had a meeting, just got one this morning from Ray, wanting to meet on 6/31. Unfortunately, it'll be in between 2 or 3 meetings. So I won't be able to attend, but Ray will attend for us. I think it's the entrance to the wind farms on 6/31, as I understand it. Again, same announcement, BDA and BAP together jointly with the judge and his entourage in tow. Went over there and signed a huge contract. We do have several others that we're looking at right now, still in the work in progress, working with the BDA. BDA has been instrumental in doing that. So, yeah, we'll be looking at all of that. Got a letter from Nick from TxDOT. The Hawk system for the school district will be doing the letting. This month or the beginning of next month, I'll be attending that meeting there at TxDOT for the letting of it. In other words, all the material's ready. It's just we have to get a contractor to put it up. They're still finishing the traffic study on 359 for lights in Tynan, stop sign or a warning stop sign for Skidmore as you're coming in, speed limits. Most of y'all know when you're coming into Tynan, coming into Skidmore from Tynan, you're at 70 miles an hour until you get to that stop sign. So it's really rough right in there. There is a small subdivision housing area right there before you get there. I am trying to slow that traffic down and warn them also of that too. So a lot of people turn on that one county road as you're going into Skidmore. A lot of them do that. So they're still making 70 miles an hour when they get there. Have a few other calls that are being made. They did do some patchwork on 631, and I want to commend the Sheriff's Department and I know they're doing it as extra help, but they're doing a fine job just sitting out there in the hot sun with watching the trucks go back and forth. Trucks are doing very well, it's slowing down as they're supposed to. Haven't had any complaints about that. So, other than that, it's just been regular phone calls. And, I know the mowers just left Papalote, headed back north, so we're looking good there. I too have a couple of roads I'm going to look at and see. We do have a couple that have been adopted. They're in the works for next month and such, so we're looking at that. But other than that, that's it. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Commissioner Haggard and Commissioner Fadias.
I have-
Do you want to
I have
take a
one-
second bite?
One second.
Go ahead.
No, I've been working with TxDOT this week. There's lots of accidents that have been happening on 59 and 181 intersection at the double stop signs there. They see one, but they miss the other. So with Nick Novosad's help and TxDOT, they're looking to see how many accidents are happening there, so we can either try to get them lit up. The only drawback they see there is that they remove those signs on a weekly basis for those blades to go through there, and they said they damaged all the solar panels. So that's the only setback right now that we're looking at. They're gonna try to work around that, but I was trying to get those lit up, stop signs, so people won't miss that second one, or miss the first one and get the second one, because we've had quite a few accidents in that intersection.
Thank you, Commissioner.
That's all.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I understand Commissioner Lenny also wants a second bite.
See what you thought?
I've got some more big ones.
Just to add to Commissioner Fadias, I was talking to TxDOT yesterday, matter of fact, and just want everyone to know and be patient. They are going to start, I believe this week, changing out all of the traffic lights down 59 into town, all the way through. What's happening is every traffic light's got a camera on it, and when it recognizes a vehicle come up, it's supposed to, like within 15 seconds, switch over, and it's not doing that. So they're redoing all of them. So right now, you're sitting at a light going, well, why is it red? There's no one here, because it's on a set routine right now, set schedule of changing, but they're going to be fixing all of that here, I think, starting this week, so.
That is good news.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good.
Are you done? Commissioner DeWitt, you sure? Commissioner Haggard?
I'm good.
Anybody else?
I could add the text stuff, but I don't know. I'll wait till next
You want
month.
me to read it again?
No.
I'll wait till next month.
Okay, thank y'all. No, this is good, and it's always good to hear such substantive comments. So thank you all for everything that you've shared. I guess it has been, we haven't had a meeting since a delegation went to Dubai to speak with NAFCA, the new company that's coming to B County. There's still certainly a whole lot of work that's left to be done. Most of that work is going to be on the side of NAFCO, but you know, with respect to the leadership at the BDA and the leadership at the BAP, and of course our office and anybody else in the community, anything that we can do to assist this company as they try to open up their first United States facility, we're going to do. So there's a lot of heavy lifting left to go, but I know that if they can get it done and if we can help in any way, I know we will. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. It's a good, optimistic future, at least for this component that we have. And so I wish them all the success, and hopefully we'll have more news and see more growth from them in the weeks to come. Aside from that, you know, I don't think I need to waste anybody else's time with anything else that's going on. We have jail issues we're still working through. And it seems like, when the weather gets a little bit warmer, that's when your air conditioning start to fail, just like in the winter time, that's when your boiler decides it doesn't work, right, John? And we're fortunate, B County, we've got a great maintenance department, they can do wonders with duct tape. But there is a limit even to that. So, that's all I've got. Moving on, to agenda item number 6, public comment. Is there anybody that would like to address the Commissioners Court this morning? All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Father Rodriguez, Promotional Director, County. I wanted to welcome Gina Shigeric. She's with our local Rosetta Club. And we had some technical issues getting her onto today's agenda item, but what I wanted to do is introduce her to you guys as a representative for Rosetta Club. This organization is hoping to have a reduced rate for their tablescape event that happened this last weekend. And so they have they donate all proceeds to the local library. And so I just wanted to introduce that idea to you guys. It will be on the next agenda in case you guys have any questions for her today as well.
Will this be for next year or
Well, the event actually happened.
for last week, for Saturday?
Yes, sir.
That's great. Yeah, Tablescapes is just a wonderful event, and everything that they do for Joe Barnhart Library is wonderful. And hopefully Saturday's event was
It was good,
success.
very good. Yeah, it was very successful, thank you.
Wonderful.
Great.
Excellent. Thank you, Wally. Anybody else would like to make a public comment this morning? Moving on, agenda item number 7. The following items are of an administrative nature. Commissioners Court has been furnished documentation on each item, and all such items may be acted upon by one vote without being discussed separately unless requested by a commissioner or county judge.
I'll move to approve as presented.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
We got anything
No, is there any questions on any bills?
No,
No?
everything was really, really good.
Okay, everything
There's
is
some
good
down the
on my
line.
side.
All right, if there's no further discussion. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on, discuss and consider action on the following items. Agenda item number 8, master agreement for mutual aid, Coastal Bend Council of Governments.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. I have a second. I've got multiple seconds. Is there any further discussion? This is a great program. It's a great entity that we're a part of. They, across the spectrum of all governmental services and opportunities, they provide a meaningful input and assistance. So I appreciate y'all's continued support of this entity. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Moving on, agenda item number 9, Fire Troll Protection System Scope of Work, Terms and Conditions Agreement for the Courthouse Fire System. So, a month or so ago, there was an incident of some issue. I think it was a pipe leak that revealed some fire protection system shortcomings in the courthouse. This component, I believe, Candy's not here, so she can't. John can clarify for me.
There's Candy.
This agreement is to, hey, Candy, this agreement is to get us back into conformance with state requirements, correct?
Yes. Move to approve. I noticed the cost is $13,950.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I went down to see it. I don't know whether y'all gone down to see that. The rust is building up on the bolts and things that
Not good.
they pointed out. So we need to take care of it.
This is kind of like anything else that when you need it, you need it. When you want your brakes to work on your car, they need to work. If this system ever has to work, it needs to work. And we'd be remiss in not approving this.
No more duct tape, John.
I agree.
Can't use duct tape on this.
Can't buy vinyl wire anymore either.
Let's go.
Like, still might work, I don't know.
There we go.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Agenda item number 10, offer to purchase textile property, suit numbers B-17-3036-0TX-B and B-14-3031-0-TX-B and B-17- 3039-0-TX-B.
Oh,
We have Live Parker Goggin here this morning. Steve, would you like to present for us, or?
Good morning. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners, for having me here. Stephen Salcedo with Weinbarger Attorneys at Law. Judge, what you do have before you here today are 3 offers to purchase tax resale properties. Just as a reminder to the court, these are properties, once we foreclose, we sell them on the courthouse steps to the highest bidder. If nobody buys them on the courthouse steps, and 90% of them are bought on the courthouse steps, those then, the county takes ownership as trustee for all the underlying tax authorities in the judgment. What we have here today are bids to purchase that people submitted after the first tax sale. If those bids are less than what you would have gotten at the first tax sale, it requires your authorization as well as the authorization of every other taxing authority in the judgment, so it would be the city and the school district as well. You should have a breakdown of what each bid is and the amounts involved and what the county and what the other taxing authorities would receive. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I will state that on the third piece of property, we did receive some compensation back, but again, we always do this, so it puts it back in the tax roll.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Mr. Salcedo, thank you again for your presentation and your time this morning. If there's no further discussion, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
We'll sign the resolution this morning.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item number 11, technical support agreement between Climatech and B County for the emergency management control system at the Courthouse, Expo, Justice Center, and Sheriff's Office Jail. Mr. Gary, would you mind just giving us a general overview real quick of Climatech and how you utilize it in your day-to-day activities?
Climatech, John Sager, the Big County Maintenance Supervisor. Climatech, for us, since I came aboard, they've been here with us. They help us in our controls of the AC system. Sergio, the tech, that's the one I asked for the last time. If we could keep Sergio, because Sergio's not there. But
Is this Climatech?
we got Climatech right there.
Hey, how are you?
And, but I asked for Sergio, because Sergio knows our whole system. Did not know about Sheriff's Department, I guess that's been added. But they service the courthouse, the Justice Center, and the Expo. And they help us out tremendously by helping me to regulate the AC systems and all that, so, very good company, great company.
Thank you, John. I'm sorry, I didn't know that y'all were here. Please, do you have anything you'd like to present or show to the Commissioner's Court this morning?
Sure.
And just please identify yourself for your recording.
Scott Marshall with Climatech. We just wanted to, I know we've been in an agreement with the city for quite some time. And so in doing so, we'd like to continue to do that and help you guys out as much as possible. With the addition of the sheriff's office and the jail, I don't believe there's any technical support agreement there currently. So this new one here is to cover what we've been doing, like John said, this is the 3 bills we've been doing in addition to the 2 as well, to help him with all that. So what we do, just to give you guys an idea, is with this control system, we go in there and make sure things are working correctly, calibrated correctly, and if there's any issues that we can kind of help take care of those beforehand and try and prevent any major damage or anything that could break or fail that time.
Mr. Marshall, one thing I noticed that we did not select was the replacement portion. I'm sure that's quite a bit more expensive. The Schedule B, traffic service plan, the component repair and replacement. I don't think we selected that, did we?
I'm sorry.
It's not checked off. It's not checked off, so I assume we didn't.
Yeah, that's an add-on that it has, typically has not in the existence of the agreement from Forest. The other one was from 2017 to 2020,
Right.
that was not part of that.
Do you have a guesstimate on what that might cost? Just a guesstimate.
I mean, I'm gonna.
Nothing we would hold you to, just trying to get my head wrapped around it.
Well, Joe Lino, Climatech as well. It depends. There's varying levels of what you'd like. It could be where you have essentially the backbone. You call us and we show up and we do exactly what you need us to do. There are some parts where we'd be able to provide the controllers to you at no cost. we would have to take a look. I want to say, prior to the addition of the courthouse and the jail, that additional cost was about $25,000 per year. Historically, it wasn't chosen because our controllers and equipment are fairly substantial, and it's uncommon to see failures of that magnitude. Typically, this option is usually only garnered for critical environments like data centers and hospitals.
Gotcha. Okay, that answers my question. Thank you very much.
Has the cost changed any, or is it stayed the same, or is it?
So it did increase, with the addition of the two buildings. It's the main, increase of the prices because of that. And so we are coming on a quarterly basis. So you're adding the two buildings, and typically it's about, we're here every quarter for a couple days going through all the buildings.
Well, I'm noticing, correct me if I'm wrong, Madam Auditor, 19,448 3 times a year.
No,
No.
Oh, I mean, we
it's
pay
in
that, it's divided by 3 years. The total is 19,448 a year.
So
And we
Yes.
pay that in 3 tranches.
Four.
Four.
Yes.
It's quarterly.
62.
Yes.
Yes,
Four.
quarterly.
Okay.
Yes, so I,
42 per quarter.
Thank you.
yes, I made a note to review for our budget.
So budget's gonna have to go up to the extra buildings.
Yes, sir, and so,
Slight
do-
addition to the
Yeah.
budget.
yes, sir.
And on that note, I'll make a move to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I have some corrections on the contract, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got the client down as B County on Galloway Drive, that should reflect the courthouse
Okay.
address.
We did that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just sent a message on Friday and got that corrected.
Okay.
and-
I did, yeah, we did make some corrections on
Okay,
Friday.
then on the courthouse, you've got suite 109, that should be 105.
Okay.
And then at the very bottom, B County Jail Sheriff's Office, you got the one on Toledo Street, that's the old one.
And that's okay, we made, yeah, so
You made that?
I think we may have made all those corrections on Friday.
Okay. I will give this to,
I did.
thank you, Mr.
Mr. Marshall, Mr. Luna, thank y'all for being here this morning. Appreciate your time and your service to the county. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on, agenda item number 12, and if you guys can stay if you want. If you want to go, you're welcome to dip out whenever you'd like to leave. Agenda item number 12, ratification of professional services agreement with the Deaf and Hard Hearing Center for Deaf Interpreting Services. This is your county judge is going to fall on the sword here. I apologize. District judges needed support on this agreement before today's date, so I went ahead and I approved this professional services agreement. There should be, hopefully there's a copy in your packet. There is, and the reason why this came up is they had they had a hearing or a trial just recently where they needed somebody who could provide that type of interpretive services, and we didn't have it, and so it created a spotlight on the issue, and they needed to act quickly on it so they could get the resources that they need. So that's basically what it is.
Yeah, move to approve.
Second, with comment.
We've got a motion and a second. Commissioner DeWitt?
One question I had, now, is this someone who will be here all the time, or just as needed?
As needed.
Okay, that answers that. Then I did some research on this company. If you look at their history and background, it's very, very interesting. They started out at a Whataburger, a bunch of people sitting around talking, this is needed to be done. Let's go through the different stages they went through. They rented a building, they were given up space, they finally bought a building. Very excellent service they give. It's a nonprofit. When you read about them and you look at their building and the facilities, this is a fantastic service, sir. And I applaud you for bringing this to us, and whoever found this particular company in Corpus Christi did a good job.
Excellent. I'll pass that along. I believe it's Judge Watley, but I just don't know. Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Moving on, agenda item number 13, Smith, Seckman, Reed, Inc. invoice dated April 15th, 2021 for the Sheriff's Office New Jail.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Agenda item number 14, request for letter of support for the Color Express from Rural Economic Assistance League, Inc., Rio. Hey, how are you this morning, Mr. Good morning.
May I pass this along?
Yes, please do.
Thank you. Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning.
Morning.
Commissioner Dewey. My name is Martin Ornella. I'm with the Rural Economic Assistance League. We're the rural transit provider in 9 rural counties to the coast of Bend, including we have the privilege of being the transit provider here in Beeville County. Thank you to the leadership of Judge Morrow for bringing to our attention the importance of ensuring that all higher educational institutions are included in this new approach that we have in looking at addressing the social determinants of health for rural residents and accessing higher education. We are currently partnering with Coastal Bend College and connecting with campuses, Del Mar College, as well as Texas A&M University of Corpus Christi. We are here to ask for your support in the concept of submitting a proposal to the National RTAP organization out of Washington, D.C. to demonstrate a model of how we can, through transportation, ease the access to higher education. It is a no-cost request. It is a 15-month project. We have numerous independent school districts. Other county courts have also already approved this, and we're hoping to be able to gain your support and also showing that a larger coalition of county governments are also interested in increasing access to higher education.
You got me at the low cost.
Well, yeah, you got me at low cost.
I would add that one.
And it really wouldn't matter anyway, because it is for the community.
At first blush, am I saying, are you saying here that, okay, I'm a student out in the county and I need a ride, I call y'all and I get a ride?
That is correct.
Now, what about our school buses? Does it interfere or compete with what they do?
Not at all. This is not a school bus service. This is access to higher education through public transportation.
Okay.
We are not authorized under statute to provide transportation to schools. School districts and school buses do their own set-aside transportation.
So I'm in college here at the school, and I can't get to school tomorrow or the next day, so I call y'all and y'all pick me up, take me to school?
That is
And you
correct.
take me back home later?
That is correct. What we're trying to find out through this approach, though, is a little bit different. We're trying to create flexible routing that would allow us to move multiple individuals from one point to the other. It may be, for example, if I could use Coastal Bend College, connecting students that are in Beeville and like, of course, in Kingsville or in Alice, we would create specialized routing to be able to move folks to and from. Whereas right now, an individual would call, the price is so prohibitive that it's really not used. So part of the approach and the concept we have is also to ensure that we have a sustainability plan. Once we demonstrate that it can work, how can we sustain the service over the long haul?
So there's possibility of you putting up a shelter or a kiosk somewhere in the county, and people would come there somehow, and they'd pick them up all at one time and take them to school?
That is correct. We are looking at our entire service area of where we can receive clients that are needing to go to destinations, because currently the model is demand response. You call and we go pick you up in your house. If we have 10 students from B County, it'd be a little bit challenging to get them all on time to get to the college. And so we're looking at destinations where they can stop by, we pick them up in one location and move them in a faster sprint.
Move to approve. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Thank you, Mr. Ornella, for bringing this to our attention, and to Resale for coming up with this concept, and hopefully it'll be successful. We really appreciate everything you guys do for us and for our citizens.
Thank you so much again, Judge, for your leadership and connecting us with Dr. Conger. It's a pleasure to work with him.
Yes, sir.
And we have
Excellent.
his full support.
I'm so glad that y'all were able to connect. He was a great guy. Excellent.
Really.
There's no further discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. I'll have that letter signed just as soon as the meeting's over, if you want to hang around. Otherwise, we can get it to you a little bit later on
Okay.
today.
Thank
I think I can have it signed as soon as the meeting's over. Yes.
An electronic copy of the letter with the file.
Okay, excellent. Okay, then we'll take care of it that way. Moving on to agenda item number 15, Expo request for pavilion fee waiver from Resale Inc. for their monthly food drive distribution. Mr. O'Neill, I'll give you the floor again, sir.
Thank you, Judge. On the left side of the packet I gave you is the sample flyer we have for some of the food distributions. As you know, this pandemic has created opportunities and challenges. One of the opportunities is for transit services like ours to be facilitators of access to food, access to vaccines, access to testing, and we've partnered with the county and have made ourselves available consistently in assisting in any way we can. We partner with the Coastal Bend Food Bank and have also been able to access a sizable amount of funds to distribute food to those that are in need. we're coming before you to, be able to use, the fairgrounds and be able to distribute food to those that may need it. One of the uniqueness of what we do is not just to offer the food at no cost to the residents, but also for those that are unable to get to the distribution drive-through sites, they contact us, we get their name and number, and we will distribute the food to their homes. Those are the elderly, those that are disabled, or those that may have mobility challenges. So we hope, that you would support us, and, please waive the $300 fee to be able to use.
You coordinated with Mr. Willow on that, is there a conflict or anything with, COVID?
No, sir. K-Cost is now, giving their vaccinations at their clinic on Hillside Drive. So basically, we just have testing and we do have an alternate location for that.
If there is ever a need for anyone that needs either vaccination or testing and does not have transportation, we've made ourselves available that we will go pick them up at no cost to them to get them to the testing and vaccination site.
It gets better and better.
Yeah, they do. They've been tremendous support.
I move to approve.
Second. We've got a motion and a second. Further discussion?
I have a couple of comments. And I'm sure y'all always coordinate with the sheriff's office and the police department,
Yes, we notify them in advance.
several days in advance, because they have things that they're doing, and sometimes they just can't, it's spur of the moment, go out there and give y'all help.
That is correct.
So y'all are coordinating very well with them.
Absolutely. Now that we come before you in making a request for any use of the facility, we know in advance to be able to contact them and make the appropriate arrangements.
Great, and you're also coordinating with Wally to be sure it's all available and that sort of thing.
That is correct.
Our manager out there.
Yes. Great. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Mr. Ornelas.
And just real quick, and is this just for a one-time, or have you got several dates now, so you won't have to keep coming back to us?
I don't have the other dates, but we do have other dates. If it would be possible to amend the motion to say now and in the foreseeable 6 months, that would be greatly appreciated, so I don't have to come every 2 weeks. Not that I mind coming to you and keep you posted on
Actually,
all
I
the
will-
wonderful work we do.
Wait. And I, we fully support what you're doing, so what I'm about to say isn't negative at all, but I would maybe want to hold off on amending the motion, just because I know that, and it's great what Real does, and then we have another local group that also brings food distribution, and I think as it is right now, y'all are all set by 1 week. And so if we're gonna do that for the next 6 months, then that's every 4 or 5 weeks. It'll be week 2 is food, and week 3 is food. And I don't know if there's any capability or capacity or willingness on the part of the two organizations to get together and talk about scheduling and try to separate out or move out, so just to benefit our citizens. Is that okay? I don't mean to.
Absolutely, not at all. We coordinate with the state partner, which is the Coastal Bend Food Bank.
Right.
We are, in addition to the other services that they provide, and that we bring a group of volunteers that we recruit for the distribution. So there is never a conflict with those other services that are already being provided. Our services are in addition to. The new aspect of our food distribution program is now we received a grant for $50,000 to distribute additional food, and we're going to create markets of sorts where it's going to be a particular food product, a dairy product date, so that you have a list of the 12 items, and they'll be able to choose 9 items of those that they will use, rather than just give them food that we know they should eat, but don't always necessarily eat. So we're going to be changing it a little bit, and we always coordinate with the Coastal Bend Food Bank, which coordinates with the partner. But we would be more than willing and able to coordinate with the local provider that is also doing that, to ensure that it's not duplicated and it's staggered enough so that the residents can benefit for the food available.
If you wouldn't mind, I could get y'all in touch with each other. I really appreciate it, because I love that you guys are moving in and doing this, and I'd love to be able to.
I could come back and share some of our other projects that we have another time. We're doing a feasibility study in our facility here. So there's lots of stuff that we're doing in B County that impacts the residents. And please let me not forget, we're also hiring drivers full-time. We have 10 positions available. Would be able to hire someone immediately once they pass the background check and drug and alcohol testing. So just know that we are also looking to hire more employees here out of this county.
Excellent, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
What would help the court is to follow up on the judge's comment. If y'all could both come at the same time and have a list, and we could possibly look at that and approve a couple of months in advance. And I'll have to come back every time. And that way, both of y'all are here, and you've been coordinated, and if there's any problem or questions, y'all can work it out right here.
Yeah.
Just a thought, Wally,
Absolutely.
coordinate that, please.
I absolutely can. One thing I do also want to mention to the court is that, I spoke with, I believe it's Tony Vasquez.
Yeah.
Okay, and so, one thing I wanted to bring up to the court is that, she was hoping that we might be able to also waive any sort of deposits involved with it, as well as the maintenance fee. And so I wanted to bring that to the court so that we can make a decision on that as well.
Okay,
Generally, I would require a
fee
deposit.
waiver right now.
Generally, he requires one.
Which is, and how much is that?
A deposit for the pavilion is $300.
Now, y'all have been using it for a while, they've not had a deposit down so far?
The last time that they were in, it was an emergency type situation, and we went ahead and wanted to accommodate the ability to distribute the food. So, we made that call very quickly, and, this is the first since then that they've asked that we, consider doing something out there on a regular basis.
Would you consider amending your motion?
Yes, I was gonna ask, it is all, everything's all outside anyway.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah, I'll amend my motion to waive that fee also.
Second.
I'm in the second. Any further discussion? Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Thank you, Mr. O'Malley.
Absolutely, and at your direction, we will coordinate, with both Wall and the other providers to ensure it can come before.
Great, thank you.
Thank
so
you
much.
again.
Anything further?
I'd just like to make a comment, the
Yes,
fact that they're coming up with a list of, because they hand out so much food, and those that don't like that, that's wasted. It's, you know, that's the way it is. So this way, they get to choose what they like, and I guess it helps you, basically. It does help them, it's what they really need and what they really don't. So I commend them on that, I think.
Yeah, excellent comments, Commissioner. Thank you. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you again for Resale Transportation. Agenda item number 16, request to retain third-party engineering firm for jail issues. Not sure,
This is mine.
Commissioner Haggard.
This is, in reference to the numerous phone calls by Commissioner Frias, the judge, and all other commissioners that have gotten phone calls about, this is broke, this is not fixed, this is not finished. There's a whole list of items that they did not, have not finished up on. I think with the one jail that we did go look at, I say the party went and looked at, they were kind of, as I feel, they were shielded against the true issues that are with that jail. They've been in their jail for 2 years, and they're having the same problems we're having right now. So, personally, it's, correct me, Candy, RMG? HMG, I'm sorry, it is HMG that we voted on a while back to retain. There is a packet they had, Candy did put that in there, I'm not sure where it is in the emails, but I know I received a copy of it from, Ms. Jenkins, from their firm. There's a ballpark figure in there, there's no use throwing that out there, but there is a ballpark figure, and I think once we sit down with them, so my motion is to engage in, hiring this engineering firm to, move forward in trying to finish all the, problems with this jail.
I will second, and Commissioner, if I read that contract correctly, we also need to hire EMC to kind of shepherd us along.
It's
So
the
is
same-
that- is that part of your motion?
They'll oversee it, yes, I'll add that to my motion to keep the same,
Yes.
firm to watch it.
And I'll-
ECM.
I'm in my
ECM.
second to say, yes, ECM, yes, ma'am.
Just to follow up on Commissioner Hager's comments, I've talked to him before, and I don't think we should wait any longer. I mean, these things are just staggering, and you keep finger pointing and do this and do that, it could go on forever. So I think that we need to just pull the trigger and nip it in the bud.
I think that's what this is doing.
Yeah,
You got it cocked and loaded.
So,
Yeah, I'm sure Commissioner Frias has got 100 other things to do, other than go answer little issues, and they're small issues, don't get me wrong, but like the humidity issue, there's buckets of water being dumped out there every day.
When I go over and look, here's these commercial humidifiers, and they're dumping 55 gallons a day out of them.
Mhm.
And that even was during the winter when we had low humidity. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't this the white bulldog, the white-haired bulldog that we're gonna hire? Okay. Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna unhook the chain.
Okay. We have a
We have
motion.
him on a leash.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I just explained that, with respect to some of these ongoing persistent issues that we have with the construction of the new jail, In January timeframe, I believe, we went through the process of finding an expert to assist the county with identifying, a third-party expert to assist the county in identifying exactly what the issue is and who's to blame and how to get it fixed. That's gonna take some time. That's the entity that we're considering this morning, HMG. That's gonna be their goal is to come in and look at it with fresh eyes and provide the Commissioners Court with guidance on how to make sure that at the end of the day, we have a jail that's fully functioning, which is the jail that was offered to us and that we agreed to pay for, and that we have paid for, and that we have not yet received. So is there any further discussion?
Yes, sir, Judge, if I could, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that also includes up to and including litigation. If we get in litigation with expert witnesses and that sort of thing, that's, when we did our interviewing, that was all covered. And we all feel very confident and comfortable with this company.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Any further discussion?
I just want to add to the fact that, again, with that contract of building and providing in June last year was when we were supposed to be in-house. And it's May this year, and we're still issuing. So, I think it's long time to do this. It's time to move forward.
And I think we can probably get them there pretty quick.
Yes.
Because something else for the public, when we interviewed the firms, this particular firm had gone over the plans and specifications for the jail and had a lot of information for us. So they went an in-depth look at everything that had been put in and it was designed before they even came to the interviews.
And of course, best case scenario, this will all resolve itself.
Yes.
This summer, with the efforts of this entity, and we won't have to take any further remedial efforts. So we still remain optimistic, but we want to be realistic as to the status of this project. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Agenda item number 17, professional services agreement between B County and iDocket for the county clerk's office. Madam County Clerk, you have the floor.
Good morning, Nicole Gonzalez, County Clerk. Gentlemen, before you, you should have an agreement. Basically, what this is, it's just an additional service that I'm trying to offer in my office for e-recording. It costs the county nothing. We actually can receive 20% of subscription revenues from people that subscribe to the service. It's just another way for the public attorneys to be able to do transactions more easily in my office. And you can also obtain copies of dismissals, things like that, so that way they don't have to come directly to my office. If they want to log on, they can do it from there and pay for it online.
Move to approve the comment.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioner DeWitt?
We need to add the judge's name to the contracts.
Okay.
Protocol says that a department head cannot sign a contract,
Gotcha.
so we need, where we have you, we need to have the county judge.
Not a problem, get that done. Never mind. Right on top of that.
Commissioner, you might as well just ask Andy before you come to the. It's kind of like calling, it's almost like, I'll also answer, it's almost like calling Ray. Ray, I have a problem, now we already took care of it. We got it yesterday. We got it yesterday.
I'll say that great minds think alike.
I'll accept that, sir. You're welcome.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on, agenda item number 18, declare tax office computer equipment on net data inventory list as non-functional, unsalvageable, and removed from net data system. Madam Auditor?
We're just doing cleanup, for inventory in the office, and so this was, next in line.
Little housekeeping.
Move to approve with a comment.
I'll second.
Motion and a second.
I was going through that list, golly, some of this stuff's not but a year old, and I realized just the ones that were highlighted are the ones you're looking at. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Agenda item number 19, declare equipment and vehicles from Road and Bridge Department as non-functional, salvageable, and disposal of said property to be posted on GovDeals. Mr. Gonzalez? I've already got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Gonzalez, do you have anything you'd like to share with the court?
I recommend that the court approve as presented.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we have a list.
Oh, okay. Any further discussion? None. All right. No further discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Agenda item number 20, update, discussion, and possible action regarding B, county COVID-19 status preparedness and contingency planning. Mr. Willow, do we have anything really to report in general?
Well, yeah, I believe we do have a few things to discuss, but we can ask Candy first.
Okay. Tell us what's going on, please, sir.
Well, Mike Willow, COVID-19 coordinator response. First,
Closer?
it's, if I may.
Yes.
Over the last 3 weeks, we've had about 5 cases of COVID. So it is really, really deteriorating, and not deteriorating, but the numbers have gone down. Vaccine numbers are also way, way down. You know, we want to still try to get everyone vaccinated. We no longer are utilizing the Expo Center for the vaccine. Like I announced earlier, KCOS is now at their office on Hillside Drive. The hospital is using our call center for us to take the name and phone numbers of the people that want to be vaccinated. We email them the list, and the hospital in turn calls and makes the appointment with the people. So we're still providing a service, but not in such a large scale as we were before. So we still are providing a service. Now, I've talked to many of the commissioners, and we come in agreement that, you know, we should make the mask wearing up to the individual and not have a county mandate. And this is a format where we can make the motion, I believe, to do that. I think we should, and we'll have to rewrite the policy and whole 9 yards, but I believe we're at the point where if Mike Willow wants to wear a mask, then it's up to Mike Willow to wear the mask and not be forced to do so. I think that the information that we're receiving from the CDC and everything that we're getting from our own local testing, we're there at that point. So I'd like to make a recommendation to the commissioners and the judge, sir, if you would like to do that, you'd have my support 100%.
Thank you, Mr. Willow. And we've got a second meeting, because one meeting on a day is not enough. On the second meeting, we have a specialized agenda item for that, for that consideration. But,
we can rewind it.
yeah, no, but for the,
Check with Candy. I did.
for the commissioners, and for my own edification, our check-in station here at the courthouse and at the tax office, we've committed to that through the end of, is it the end of June or the end of May?
End of June.
End of June. So, removing or changing the mask rule at this time would still provide some transition period where there is daily temperature taking at those two locations where there's a high volume of traffic. So it'll still be able to give us some metrics with respect to that. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anything further on the COVID-19 update?
No, sir. Everything is steady pace. Now, our phone call line is active. We receive about 100 calls a day. Not just as I need to get my test, but then still information, people asking questions about COVID.
The vaccination at the hospital is.
It's still there, but the hospital will call and make the appointment with the individual.
Not like the long line.
Not the long line.
Okay.
So we're.
Sir Swillow, Commissioner Farias and I were at a meeting earlier this last week, and one question that was asked was, how can I get in on this phone call everybody's getting? And we directed them to the county's website, correct me if I'm wrong, and the large red ball at the bottom. If they'll check on that large red ball and follow the prompts, they can enter their phone number to get the emergency notifications for about anything that's going on. It's that simple.
It is.
Just the large red ball, and it doesn't matter which item you click on, they're all going to take you to the same place. So the public that is interested in, there's even a process now where, let's say there's a major bailout in B County of illegals. They're in the process of putting that where it'll be on part of the phone out also, the reverse 911 system. So it's my understanding that just go to that red ball, click on one of those, follow the prompts. They're very, very easy, and get signed up. You'll find out about severe weather, water conditions, shots, any kind of emergency situation where the public needs to be notified is on that. So please sign up. Cost you nothing.
And also, just to add, 3-4 months ago, we talked about an app for B County, information app. It's through its beta stage. We should be putting it in Google Play Store or whatever, to where people can download this app, and it's phenomenal. I believe I sent the link to other commissioners to look at it and see what it looks like so far, but I think you all will be very proud of it when you see it.
I'm excited for that to roll out.
So it's gonna be coming out real soon. And also, just for the emergency notification system, B County is part of the IPAWS system, to which the acronym escapes me, but it allows us to, as you see on TV, this is a test. This is only a test of the emergency broadcast system. We generate that. We have the ability to generate that if we need to. So not only do they have to sign, but if it's an actual emergency, tornado warning, or we got one spotted, we literally can go in and break in on the television stations and break in on car radios to put out that information.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Willis. I don't think we need to take any action unless the spirit moves any commissioners. We can wait till our 10:30 meeting. Moving on, there's no executive session today. You're welcome, everybody. Agenda item number 21. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion passes without exception. We are adjourned.
Till 10:30, right?
10:30. 10:30. We're coming back. Yeah.